running some Burberry boots. Sliding a pterodactyl inside a reptile. Sliding some red sandals.
Alright, y'all, welcome back to another video cause Playbook. This will be my first podcast today. For our first guest, we got AMN Fitness, AJ, aka AJ, aka Arnez, aka AJ Newt, aka, Big Baller Brand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, we here today. So I'm starting podcast. I know I posted that on Instagram a couple of days ago. So for our first topics today, we mainly gonna be talking about fitness. Me and AJ might come back in the future with a basketball video, or just kind of like just talking about whatever. But today we're gonna focus it on lifting and like a little bit of fitness. We'll touch on both of that. But yeah, that's kind of what we'll talk about today. AJ, you got anything to say to the crowd?
Shout out to Cal's Playbook.
Let's do it.
Shout out Cal's Playbook.
Yeah.
AMN Fitness. Check us out.
Yep. I'll leave his links in the description. So here we go.
Let's get to it.
Yep. So first thing we're gonna talk about, I want to talk workout splits. So AJ, I want you to talk to them. What's your workout split for your personal workouts? Like, what are you currently doing right now?
So I currently run. Well, right now I'm on a 4-day split, but my normal, like on a week-to-week basis, I like to run a hybrid, basically being a push-pull legs up or lower. So it's a mix of yeah.
Is there like certain days of the week that you do that, or is it like just kind of you just do 5 and then?
I always like to start my weeks with legs. So legs on Monday, because legs are a big mental thing.
Yeah.
I feel like Mondays and legs just like, damn, do I really got to do this? But once you get over that hump of like, it's Monday, I don't feel like working, or damn, it's leg day, I don't feel like doing this. Once you complete your leg day on a Monday, that just sets you up strong for the rest of the week. Tuesday, I do a push day. Wednesday, I do a pull day. So it's no real reason as to why. But that gives 2 days for my legs to rest between Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, I come back and hit legs again. Monday, I like to do like posterior chain, that being glutes, hamstrings, and calves. And Thursdays, I like to do anterior chain, that being your quads. Well, mostly quads, but a
little bit of hamstring and calves and all that
yeah,
stuff.
you mix it all in. And
Got
then
you.
Friday, shoulders and arms, and that's my whole split. Rest on Saturdays and Sundays.
Got you. Yeah, so actually what's crazy about that is I started a very similar split. It's just like reverse. So Monday, I'm doing upper body. So I'm hitting everything. Like I'm doing some supersets with arms. I'm doing shoulders. I'm doing chest and back. So I'm supersetting everything. So kind of like 4 to 6 sets of everything. Just kind of quick in and out.
Interesting.
Tuesday, I do legs. I kind of focus on squatting that day and kind of more quad day kind of. And then I'll rest on Wednesdays, but it's an active rest day, so like I'm not just like sitting at home and doing nothing. I'm either playing the softball, or I'm going on a run, or I'm going to walk, or something moving around. So I'm not just sitting. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll go push, pull, legs. So like I said, it's very similar to his. It's just kind of reverse. So like push Thursday, chest, triceps, a little bit of shoulders. Back and biceps on Friday with a little bit of rear delts, and then Saturday is like a hamstring focus and kind of leg day. So yeah, very similar thing. I saw that, like I was talking about, one of my PowerPoints was science split. That's kind of like one of the research science splits I saw with like Jeff Nippard talked about it, and like a few other guys like that talked about it. So I'm currently giving it a try right now. I think workout splits are something you should change. You shouldn't just stick to the same one forever. I think changing it up is probably a good way to gain muscle and just like stimulate the muscle differently. And then I want to talk about some other splits that a lot of people have. So one of the ones I see a lot is the 4-day bro split. This is one I actually used to do a lot. So this consists of arms, legs, back and chest, and then repeat basically. Have you ever done that? Anything like that?
Yeah, when I said I'm currently on a 4-day, that's the split I'm running right now.
Okay.
Just because time has been tight and I don't get that 5th day in a lot.
Yeah.
So instead of me skipping a day, I just changed it to going 4 days, and I go push, pull, legs, arms, basically.
Yeah, and that was one I was doing a lot actually. It worked for me. It definitely does work for you if you're somebody who works a lot or has to do like other things. That's definitely a good split to like start. I feel like that's a good way to start, or kind of just keep going to the gym, because 4 times a week most people can do 4 times a week and kind of get away with it. So, but yeah, that was something I was doing a lot, but I would be going more than 4 times a week. So I kind of wanted to change it and just kind of get like a scheduled lift on the day, because like there would be days I go to the gym and I forget what I'm doing because I'm going back to back, like bro splitting kind of. So, and then the other one is a 3-day push pull legs. Kind of touched on it a little bit. I think this is a good one for people who are work really hard. Also, if you need to go 3 times a week, maybe you're not trying to get as extremely jacked, or maybe not trying to get like what I'm saying, the biggest, or you're just trying to do muscle, just get a little bit of muscle, or just kind of like lose some fat. I think this is a really good split for people to just kind of just get in the gym, get out, and then just try and stay active on the in between days, because if you're only going 3 times a week, you want to try and stay active on those other days you're not in the gym. So
yeah, I feel like kind of like Kyle said, the push pull legs, regular like 3-day push pull legs, that's for more like if you were to rate your frequency of going to the gym 1 through 5, I feel like that'd be like right in the middle of a 3.
Mm-hmm.
That being, you go more than somebody who just wants to show up every now and again.
Yeah.
But you go less than somebody whose goal is to get like ripped and jacked and buffed.
Yeah.
So it's a good in between to just kind of fall into like, okay, he work out.
Yeah.
But it's not like, whoa, he works out.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good point. I think another one that's really good for athletes too. So like athletes who are playing basketball, like for example, we basketball guys, so we'll talk about that more so. Like if you're in the basketball, like if you're lifting like right before the season starts, so you're not trying to get the gain muscle necessarily all the time, this is a good split to do like 3 times a week just to maintain that. And also the next one, this kind of goes into the next one, which is upper lower. That's also a good one to do, like maintaining during a sports season. So like say this is any sport really, if you're doing upper lower twice a week, just as like a maintenance lift, kind of just keeping your body strong, keeping those muscles moving, not trying to get hurt or anything. I think upper lower like twice a day is a kind of a good split for like athletes recovering or just trying to get a little bit like maintain muscle. I think that's kind of why I wanted to add that on here to talk. I know a lot of athletes follow us, so
yeah. Upper lower is you don't get as much into detail. You go upper lower is going to be your chest and back day in the same day. Your quads, hamstring, glutes, and calves all in the same day. Yep. You don't get to focus on, all right, my shoulders are lacking, so I'm going to do a shoulder day. It's just everything works together. So I feel like that's more functionable strength rather than looking good strength. That's more functionable strength in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree. And that goes, I'll say, we talked about this a little bit already also. Talking about how many days a week is key for somebody trying to learn. I think we talking about, me and you both do 5. I think 5 is a really good number. Some people say go 7 days a week, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. I tried it before. I didn't necessarily like it. I thought my body was not recovering. I feel like I was losing muscle because I wasn't giving the muscles time to recover. I just wanted to see what you thought about that.
I think the perfect amount of days to go to the gym is, it depends on your goals. Yep. If you want to just stay active, 2 or 3. If you want to actually like lose weight and gain muscle, 3 or 4. If you want to get like ripped, 5 at the max. You could get away with 4, but 5 at the absolute max. I wouldn't go no more than 5 days. And if you go in 6 or 7 days, rest is just as important as working. So if you're not giving your body and your muscles time to rest, you're going to overwork them. They're never going to regenerate. You're going to stay the same size as you were before. Yep. That, or you're just going to feel like shit. So
yep. And I think the only people who can truly do that while maintaining muscle is people who are enhanced. But like, I don't think like a normal person like us wouldn't be able to necessarily maintain that while gaining muscle.
Yeah.
Or unless you're like, if you're a strictly bodybuilder and you do it, for a living, maybe because you get extra time to rest and recover. But even then, I feel like you still need rest days to kind of give your body a rest and muscles relax and just to recover, and that keeps you away from injuries and everything too, sure. Which nobody wants. So, but yeah, another thing I want to talk about is main ways to grow muscles, and I'm not talking about like, oh, you just need to go to the gym. Like, what's like kind of like the decay that you would tell somebody that maybe they won't gain from looking it up on YouTube, or like some of the things that, like, you know, you can't just get from searching up how do I gain muscle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got a couple tips off the top of my head. First being do cardio. Like cardio won't gain you muscle, but it's gonna make your muscle more visible. It's gonna make your muscle look better because there's not as big of a layer of fat over your muscles.
Yep.
So even though your cardio isn't making your muscles bigger, it's making your muscles look bigger.
Yep.
I would also say get on creatine. It doesn't work great for everybody. Everybody's body reacts differently, but it's the most studied supplement there is. It won't do you no harm. And no, it does not make your muscles bigger, but it does help your body retain water. And when your body retains water, your muscles go through hydrosis, I believe it's called. It's able to basically recover faster. You recover faster, you lift more weight. You lift more weight, you get bigger.
Yeah, and basically that, if you're newer, it kind of just, like, to give an example, it just adds water muscle, like, into your body, like, so you get more fluid, which ultimately gives you more muscle, and that adds to, you know, water retention. That's why you have to hydrate quite a lot, which I think is another tip. If you're gonna start creatine, you have to hydrate a lot, because if you're drinking, you know, a little amount of water with creatine, the creatine doesn't do anything because there's no water in there to fill the muscles, so it wouldn't really make anything. So I think even if you're not on creatine, I still feel like hydration is another thing to do that's key, and that's not just for building muscle, that's just for your overall health too, just being able to do that. And I think cardio is also another thing that overall health is just something that's huge. I think that's something really, you know, key. It just, like, even if you don't lift weights and you're just trying to start by doing something, you can go on 30-minute walks. You can go on the treadmill for 30 minutes. You don't have to sprint super fast. You can go walking uphill on the incline on the treadmill for 30 minutes and you'll burn calories. You can go take your dog for a 30-minute walk around the block and that will burn calories. So just doing something is just better than doing nothing. I think that's one way to just help maintain the physique and help you out. So, and that goes into our next point too, which is diet tips to improve health and physique. So if you're going to try and, there's a couple of ways people on a diet. A lot of people like to lose weight, but there's also, like, very amount of people that like to gain weight as well. So I wanted you to kind of talk about, I know you've been through weights where you've gained and lost weight, so tell them about your experience.
So my whole life I've always been a skinnier dude. So I've never been on the end of the stick where I really wanted to lose weight. But I've been on the end of the stick where I really wanted to gain weight. Yeah. But I've worked with people who wanted to lose weight. So I kind of understand both perspectives. I understand both sides, and honestly, they're similar. They really are. It all comes down to portions of what you eat. Yep. And I'm a big believer in, it doesn't matter as much of what you eat, it just matters how much of it that you eat. I always tell my clients, the people that I work with, don't change your diet, change the portions of your diet. You could keep eating your cake and your cookies, but instead of eating it every day, eat it once or twice a week. Instead of eating all this bread, eat more meat, and you can still eat the bread, but eat more protein. So I'm a big believer in changing how much you eat rather than changing what you eat. Your plate should consist of 60% protein, 20% carbs, 20% vegetables. Maybe more vegetables, maybe less carbs, but 60% protein. And then your carbs and vegetables should vary close to around the same amount.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a really good point. I think one thing for me is I use like a brand. You can look up online, being in a calorie deficit if you're trying to lose weight. You can track your food and like plug in your stats, and that'll kind of help you like lose weight or gain weight. And I think even with that, those tips, like, you got to take those into account, because having the plates like that, and if you're using less, if you're using less like cookies and stuff, and more protein, and you replace that with the protein bar, or just the simple changes that you can have in a daily diet, that'll like factor into losing weight or gaining weight. So I think those are really good points. And then just kind of the main thing is, everybody says it, but you have to get your protein in. Just eat more meat. Like for breakfast, I think one thing a lot of people do is they skip breakfast. So like a lot of people won't have breakfast and then they'll eat like really good like chicken and rice, chicken broccoli for lunch and dinner, and they're still not hitting their protein goals because you're not eating breakfast. I think breakfast is a key thing. You can even eat a chicken breast for breakfast. You can eat like eggs, that have good fats in them. Not just like with a bunch of salt or anything, or just like a turkey bacon with like low sodium, or just like there's so many options like that you can eat for breakfast that just have some sort of protein. You can even really do a protein bar or a protein shake if you're just getting up early and going to work out or something. Just something that way your protein is kind of balanced. That way you're not just like, oh, nothing here and then up here for the last 2 meals a day, and then your body's like, oh, I'm starving in the morning. That way you kind of keep your body flowing and keep that going.
Yeah, and I could go on about this kind of all day because it's what I do. But as far as making your body look good in body recomposition, you want to be eating between 0.8 and 1.5 grams of protein for each pound you weigh. Basically, in retrospect, I'm 200 pounds. I should be eating anywhere from 180 to 220 pounds of protein from your goal weight, not from the weight that you are now. Because if you are overweight, if you're 215 pounds or you want to be 170, you need to be eating between 150 and 180 grams of protein a day. And that'll basically give your muscles the amount of protein that you need without exceeding the amount of calories that you are exerting to lose the weight.
Yep.
And basically, if you're trying to gain weight, that'll get your muscles enough protein while going just above enough calories in order for you to gain weight. So you really, the protein is the big number.
Yep.
Your carbs are good for you. Don't cut out carbs. A lot of people say to completely cut out carbs. You need carbs. Carbs give you energy. Your body breaks down. It's a necessity.
It is.
But protein and vegetables are going to be your big things with a little bit of carbs here and there. And like Cal said, stop skipping breakfast. If you want to gain weight, breakfast is going to do it for you. You skip breakfast, you missed out on 25 grams of protein right there. That's 250, 500 calories, anywhere in that range, and 25 grams of protein. That's a lot, and it adds up over time. So.
Yep. And then, I'll say to touch on that, the last thing we'll talk about for diet, eating real food is like, and when I say real food, I don't mean just going to fast food and getting 3 burgers, it's 70 grams of protein. That's not what we talking about when we say get your protein in. I think me and you can agree that you got to, if you cook, you don't have time to cook, you can meal prep and kind of just get meals that are actually like, nutritious, like a chicken breast that you cook, or like cooking actual vegetables with that, and just being able to eat real food that you cook and not just eating, like processed meats or like stuff like that. So I think that's one big thing a lot of people get confused on too with their protein. So. Yeah. But yeah, the next thing I want to talk about, this is a personal question. What's your turning point that made you serious about lifting, or like the moment where you were like, you know what, I need to lock in on this, put my eggs in the basket?
I've always been into fitness. It's always been like I love working on myself, and like even from I say in middle school I started doing push-ups and sit-ups and stuff, trying to make my body look good and whatnot. But I say I really got into it my senior year of high school, going into college basketball. That's really what did it. Like my dad and my coaches always tell me, you got to gain weight. Going into college, these people are bigger, stronger, faster. You got to gain weight. So that's what really did it. That's when I really locked in and started focusing. I think my senior year, August is my senior year, I started at 175 pounds maybe. And August, my freshman year of college, I came in at 205. So
that's huge.
That's 30 pounds. 30 pounds in a year. So I really took that. Yeah, I took that real serious.
Yeah, and I was there to see, like, I could tell when you flipped the switch, kind of like you was like, I gotta do this lifting stuff serious. Like, we would be after practices, like we would go to workouts and stuff, and then like right after he'd be like, we gotta go lift too. So like you could tell when somebody flips that switch, and kind of just wants to take it serious. And if you're somebody who's like, I go to the gym, but I'm not seeing progress. If you make that flip, you can work hard enough, and I know a lot of people can do it. So like, I think if you're like on the edge of it, just like just go for it. Like, go work extra. Like, go get an extra few days of lifting in. Eat that diet. You know what I'm saying? Stop partying. You know, if you need to, like, stop drinking and all that good stuff. If you need to do that to lock in on your diet, if you need to cut something out, you know what I'm saying? Then go, definitely 100% go for that, because that's something that I think it could change your life. Really, it could change your life, like, in a huge way. But yeah, that's something I agree with you. That's a huge thing. And then I got 2 more things today for this podcast.
What was your turning point?
You were my turning point too?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, so right after high school started, I kind of started going to the gym like 3 or 4 times a week. You know, it was like the free Planet Fitness pass, so I wasn't really like, you know what I'm saying, going too crazy. I was like, let me see how this gym stuff goes. But then I started lifting with like you and like a couple other my college football team friends and stuff, you know. So I kind of just wanted to, it was like probably like the fall of 2023, like my first year of college. I kind of was like, damn, you know, you see a little bit of progress, and you're like, yeah, let's go. Because like, I started with like skinny fats, like I was skinny fat. I had a lot of scrawny arms, you know. So I built a lot of muscle, but you know, right now I think I'm happy with where I'm at. So I think at that turning point was like right when college started. I was like, you know what, I've got all this free time. Let's go get these lifts in. Let's start working really hard. Let's see how my body looks in a year or 2. And, you know, it paid off. So, like, I'm going to keep continuing to do that. I can't see myself stopping lifting anytime soon. So, like, yeah, I think once you do it, there's no turning back. It's really good. So, and then I'll say our favorite exercise. What's your favorite exercise in the gym? Like, just personally, like, what's your favorite?
Personally, I love pull-ups. I could do pull-ups all day. I love pull-ups. And bench pressing is fun. You know, that's the regular answers, bro.
Regular answers, yeah.
But I like being on the bench and having the place just looking like I'm moving a truck off of me. I don't know. Bench pressing is, bench pressing pull-ups.
And I think, for me, mine changes a lot. So, like, right now, I don't know what it is. I'm really into dumbbell bench press. Like, I don't know what it is. I guess it's just because I've been successful on it lately. But I just feel like dumbbell bench press has been super fun for me just to do the last few weeks. I think one of the main ones I always love is just tricep push downs, you know, just seeing that horseshoe, like when you're going down and you get a pump with the arms, it's just, you can't really beat that feeling. So like, I think just, it changes for me, but like those are always going to be like my favorites.
I'm kind of the opposite. Like, I like the pump that the arms give me, but curls and tricep push downs, bro, man, I don't be feeling like doing that.
Yeah, that, I'll say there'll be days like that where you don't feel like doing it, but once you do it, you'll feel way better. So, but yeah, man, I like that. I like that point. Pull-ups are a really good exercise. If it's really hard to do at first. I know a lot of gyms have the assisted pull-up, which is kind of like the pull-up bars up here, and there's like a little pad right here, and you can kind of hold on to it and put your knees on there, and you can do it for reps. One thing I recommend people to do is kind of try and do as many pull-ups as you can without it. And say if you can't do one yet, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you put that pad up there and start doing them, you know, just continue to keep going up. And if you start being able to do them, try and do 3, 4, 5 pull-ups and then put the pad up for the rest of your reps until you're able to get, you know, 12, 15, 20, you know, a good amount. So that's a really good exercise for the back. It gets all parts of it for real. Yeah, and then one more thing, this is just advice for the viewers. I'm going to ask everybody on the podcast is, what's your advice for all the viewers at home, whether they're just starting in the gym, just learning, trying to be better, or they're a pro, or like somebody who's been doing this for a long time, trying to keep getting better? So,
if you just starting in the gym, keep going, and take progress photos. That's whether you just started and been going, or if you're not taking progress pictures, take them. I swear to you, when you take a progress picture and you go and take one every Monday, every Tuesday, or whatever, just take them weekly or bi-weekly. Every time you look back at it, you look at last week, you be like, damn, I don't see no changes. Then you go 3 more weeks in, and you look at the pictures from 4 weeks ago, you like, damn, really? I did that?
Yep.
And then you just keep on going, bro. Take progress pictures. So if you just now starting, keep going. You know, it's if you feel like you're not changing, I guarantee that you are. Maybe you could work harder. That's something that you could take up with yourself. If if you finishing your set and getting up and not having to take a deep breath and calm down after your set, you could work harder. But if you actually putting in that work and you feel like nothing changes, I promise you something's changing.
Yep.
Give it 3 months. 3 months, you're gonna be a completely different looking person, man. Just keep going, bro. This is like Kyle said, this is something that could change your life. This is your health. Like I don't understand how people can like go their whole life without working out. This is adding years onto your life. Like it's really that serious.
It is. Yep, and then to add on to that for pros or like people who've been doing it for years, if you're not seeing progress for a couple months, still take pictures because I guarantee you, like, you might hit a plateau for a little bit, and that's why I like to change my splits every 6 months or so. So, like, I felt like during the winter I wasn't gaining much, but then I looked at the pictures for myself 3 months ago to now, and I'm like, damn, I gained a lot more muscle than I really did. And it didn't really feel like it at the time, but if you take those progress pictures, you're like, damn, that's how I looked, and that's how I look now. Like, you'll see the difference. Like, I feel like that's a really good key. And then the last thing, this is something I thought of off the head. What's something to give advice to people who want to start content creation? I know me and you haven't been doing it too long. We're still young in it, and we're still trying to make our way. But, like, what's something for you that, like, for content creation?
I say go for it, bro. Shoot for the stars. And that way, if you fail, you land on the moon, man. Content creation is such a broad thing in our society right now. There's so many ways to get rich, and content creation has so many ways in itself. You can stream TikTok, YouTube, music, like all of that stuff. It's social media is the holy grail right now. Like you put your content out there, you don't know who's going to see it. And you don't know like what opportunities and what doors are gonna open from you putting your content out there. So I say go ahead and go do it, bro.
Yep.
Like that little couple weeks, couple months of embarrassment of only getting 100, 200 viewers is gonna mean nothing when you pulling 100 to 200,000 viewers and you getting paid $5,000 for making a 20-minute video. So like it's. Do it, bro.
And then another thing, me and you talked about this. I was like, so shit, how do you feel like when you record in the gym? Is it awkward? And then I was like, oh yeah. And then you look around and you're like, nobody cares. Nobody looking at you, bro.
Initially, you feel like, damn, I'm not doing this right. I got this tripod. Am I in his way? Is she gonna yell at me?
Yeah.
No, nobody. I promise, nobody's thinking about you, man. You go back and watch all your videos you recorded in the gym. You notice there's not a single soul worried about you at all. Like that, everybody is in there to go get theirs. Everybody in there to improve themselves. Nobody thinking about you,
and
bro.
if they looking at you, they probably like want to compliment you or like, you know what I'm saying, talk to you, because like you would be surprised how many cool people you would meet in the gym just by speaking to them. Like you don't even have to know them. You can say, "Oh, what's up, bro?" And then you guys just start having a conversation, and like they got the super dope story or they got super dope life, man. It's like. Yeah, go talk to people at the gym, too. Don't be annoying and talk to everybody. But, like, if you say what's up to somebody, just, you know what I'm saying, talk to some people. Like, go and, you know, explore and network and do all that stuff. So,
and I'll tell you what, if you in the gym, you're doing better than 70% of the people in this world right now.
Yep.
Whether you in there just to walk, whether you in there to actually work out, whether you in there every day of the week, or whether you in there once a week.
Yep.
The fact that you got up and went and they're in the gym, you taking the right step in the right direction, man. Just keep going, for sure.
Yeah, man. But that's kind of all I had. I want to keep these podcasts not necessarily like hours long or something. I say it's about 30 minutes or so. You know, I appreciate AJ for coming out and being the first guest. I say I'm not sure who the second guest gonna be, but we gonna talk about some sports. I say I hope somebody learned something from this today. You know, if you like this video, go like and comment. Like I said in the beginning, we're going to leave AJ's, you know, his Instagram, his YouTube, his TikTok, all that stuff in the comments. That way you can go follow him, too, and join our journey and try and get jacked with us, man. But, yeah, we appreciate y'all watching. Have a good one.